Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 4 in the series between MVP and Karon, I believe. I believe I'm saying the name right. And anyways, this is going to be Game 4 in the series. Lucifron finally putting Karon up on the board. This is part of the team story, as Lucifron has spawned as the blue Terran player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Positive Duck, actually known as Finale according to my notes, as the red Protoss on the top right. I do believe this is the ESL version of Star Station, meaning that it is cross spawns only. Now, Protoss versus Terran, Terran versus Protoss on Star Station. What can we imagine? What can we expect to see here in a TVP? I do expect there to be bio with Hellbats. Lately, I have seen some use of mech, and we'll see if perhaps Lucifron does favor mech in this TVP matchup. Meanwhile, Protoss generally always does go for a lot of gateways if it does get to the late game. It's one of those things where the gateway is a very, very strong production building when compared to, say, the barracks, if you take a look at the racial matchups. The reason why I say that is that gateways can train tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 units, in that they can train, you know, your standard zealot, your stalker as well, your stalker, your sentries. Those are kind of tier 1, 5. You also can get dark templars and high templars out of there, and those lead into archons, which I do believe are true tier 3 units, which does give a very, very strong opening. Now, taking a look at what the Protoss player is doing, you do see him go for a very, very fast double assimilator. Now, if this was Wings of Liberty, excuse me, if this was Wings of Liberty, I would suspect that we would be going into some sort of proxy Void Ray play. But that is obviously not going to be the case here. As you can see, only 2 probes on each gas right now. Pretty standard, just trying to mine the max efficiency off of each of these one individual buildings. And then we may see perhaps a Mothership Core fast expansion. Mothership Core fast expansion does work out pretty well now that Mothership Core comes out and then can add on a photon charge onto that Nexus at the natural, giving it a lot more damage and a lot more DPS. Meanwhile, Lucifron is making a move out across the map, and I do like this play coming in from Lucifron. In the previous matchup, I said I didn't like it because the other Terran player had actually scouted out with the starting SCV, and then followed it up with the Reaper. The Reaper didn't really get any additional scouting down and couldn't really spot all that much. Now, what's going to happen here? You can see that the Reaper already forced to retreat, but he has seen everything he needs to see. Now, let's see if he's going to perhaps go for a Zealot. No Zealot down. Lucifron really didn't need to take a look at the natural expansion just quite yet. You can see that there is a Zealot there, and it is going to start poking or getting poked apart just a bit, going after the probe. The probe may get taken down here. The probe now coming back down. What's going to happen here as the probe? Beautiful, beautiful dance back and forth by the Protoss, as Lucifron will be forced to retreat once more with that Reaper. Lucifron now double training up Marines out of his barracks with a reactor. We would most likely see a bunker placed down here, as both players are just doing a little bit of precautionary scouting. All this Reaper really wants to do is actually get maybe 1 probe kill if he can. That would be a huge benefit for him. If he can get 2, that would actually even things up a bit, as the Reaper now will be able to escape. And this was a really, really great move by Lucifron. I'm not sure where that Mothership Core went. Where is the Mothership Core? The Mothership Core now down on the far side of the map, as the Mothership Core going to try and take a look around here. This is a little bit dangerous for that Mothership Core. Once Marines get within range of the Mothership Core, that is pretty much the end of the ball game, as the Mothership Core does move rather slowly. Mothership Core now backing away, never really dealing any damage. Meanwhile, the Reaper taking a look around. The Mothership Core being used more as an aggressive overlord with movement speed upgrade. Taking a look inside the main base, sees that there is double barracks, and he does know that bio is going to be coming in with perhaps a delay on any sort of medevac. So the Protoss player knows that it is going to be most likely Marines and Marauders with bio. He knows that there's going to be a delay in tech, meaning that there is not going to be any sort of medevac drop play coming in anytime soon. Now, what is this Reaper up to? The Reaper has already gotten up to 3 kills. Now trying to jump up here quickly, gets shot down by a Stalker. Nicely done. Lucifron getting off 3 kills on workers definitely paid for itself, as we are now moving on into the middle game. Now, Protoss players at this point, you can see him doing that double upgrade with that double forge. Meanwhile, only level 1 weapons upgrade coming in from Lucifron. The second engineering bay has yet to be placed down, and most likely will only be placed down after an armory is. I spoke too soon. There's the armory, as we are now going into a starport and a reactor on the factory. Any Protoss player and any StarCraft 2 caster pretty much knows what to say right here. If you see a starport being built right next to a factory that's adding on a reactor, it is going to be double medevacs, as Lucifron also is looking to establish up his third base. Terran here, very, very strong in this position just because of the liftoff of the orbital command. Lucifron can easily start saturating these additional bases here, his main base and his natural. You can see that there isn't very heavy SCV saturation at all at this point, but adding in an additional command center here would be a rather dangerous move. By keeping it up on the high ground, he can save it, he can upgrade it to an orbital command and really not commit to it until he needs it, unlike a Protoss player who does need to make his way down and place it down. Now, the question is going to be, what is all of this follow-up play going to look like? Are we going to see an orbital command being upgraded? Yes, we shall. Meanwhile, a second observer already being added onto the field, as Positive Duck or Finale, the Protoss, is looking rather strong. He should have a worker advantage. He does, 49 to 44. But I am not really that impressed with his Harvester advantage right now. 18 over 24 here, 19 over 24 here. He is chrono boosting out additional upgrades. He should be getting more Colossus, and he will need to put down some pressure before Lucifron can make a bit of a move. You can see triple bunkers on the front door by Lucifron. Very, very defensive posture, and after another 2 to 4 medevacs, I do believe we should start seeing Viking production. Now, the Protoss with those Colossi could deal a lot of damage really quickly. That splash damage, very effective, especially against small bio units like Marines and Marauders, as since they have a smaller unit radius, or they just take up less space, they tend to pack up more closely together, meaning splash damage is just that much more effective. Alright, Marines now on the move here. Let's see what is going to be happening next. There is probes off over here. Where are all of these units going? Marines are looking and ready to go. The Marines do have stim, and they're just simply going to walk in here. But there is a lot of Zealots. A beautiful just a pick off there. One Zealot gets taken down. Photon overcharge being added. And this is just an annoyance for Terran players. They come in, try to take down some probes, but that photon overcharge changing how harassment works, making sure that, hey, if you want to drop in with one single medevac, that's fine. You just have to deal with this super long range, very fast attacking 2,000 hit point cannon that I've upgraded at my Nexus. Now, following up all of this play, we do have 2-1 upgrades already done and completed by Lucifron, with 3-1 or 3-1 coming in. Meanwhile, 2-2 upgrades coming in from the Protoss. They are currently, however, not being chrono boosted. Protoss player pretty much has every trick taken care of. You can see that there is Stalkers off over here to try and intercept any drops. A big surprise though is that there's not that many units here. There are 2 Zealots, and that is pretty much it in order to deal with any drop here, as the Stalkers do blink back. You got to remember, Lucifron's team currently down 1-2 in this series, as the Colossus quickly swipes down all of these Marines and Marauders. The Marines and the Marauders seeming not to care, and here we go. In comes the damage. There's some force fields. Beautifully done, as the Photon Overcharge gets in another easy shot there. And even though the Protoss has been able to defend everything well, we still have a pretty much a supply advantage for Lucifron. In comes another engagement. Guardian Shields should really be protecting those Colossi. Not quite sure why they aren't, as the Colossi, Vikings not going to get taken down. There goes another Viking. Units are coming over to try and engage Marines and Marauders, trying to take down the Zealots. Zealots do not have charge. Colossi could be just brought over and take down all of these units in pretty much an instant. The Marauders and the Marines now backing off here, as we now see another medevac drop, with Marauders taking down much of what's going on inside the main base. Another drop coming in behind here. Let's see how much damage this will do. No, the medevacs decide to just do a flyby, as we are now looking at a 145 versus 145 supply advantage. Taking a look down over here, you can see that the Protoss player is sitting on 3 bases. Decent saturation at all of them. Near efficient saturation at his 3rd and his natural expansion. But even though he's been able to push back Lucifron has not lost all that much. In fact, the Protoss has lost about 900 resources more, which is a bit of a concern. If you take a look at the Harvesters and the Income tab, come on, Control, I can't hit Control I for some reason. There you go. Minerals per minute, you can see there. And let's take a look at the army composition. 74 supply to 70 as 6, as we are still going back and forth at it. The Colossi now sitting at 2-2 upgrades. There are Archons in this group, which will force also the training of Ghost. Ghost now being added in. You can see the Mobius reactor has been started to be able to get off one free and easy EMP shockwave to try and shut down those Archons before those Archons become a problem. On top of that, the Archons do not have shield upgrades being started, meaning without those shields upgrades, those Marines are going to be able to cut through the 350 shield points that are on the majority of that Archon. That Archon doesn't really have that much life, only 10 life, 350 hit points, and 350 hit points does go by rather quickly when Marines are able to deal about 12 to 15 damage a second. I think somewhere around 13.5. And when you have this many Marines, 16 times 13.5, I'm sure someone can do the math for me. It won't take long though to really take down an Archon. About 3 seconds if all the units do focus fire. Now, Archons sitting here ready to go. There are Colossi ready to go as well. The majority of the army doesn't have that many Stalkers though, only 3 Stalkers. So Colossi may be able to just simply snipe down the Vikings may be able to just simply snipe down the Colossi if the Protoss is not careful. Immortals now ready to go. You can see Zealots being added, and Lucifron will be forced to engage here in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Protoss has very good observational coverage of what's going on inside Lucifron's base. Medevacs dropping off some units. You can see a new medevac here. 4 Marines, 2 Marauders looking to drop off perhaps at this 3rd base. Meanwhile, this 3rd base at the 12 o'clock position is just now getting saturated as Lucifron is hitting at 200 supply. Alright, Factory now doing a quick flyby. The Marines and the Marauders simply going to run in here and look to deal a lot of damage. Stalker is able to blink back. There you have it. One Colossus getting taken down in a matter of seconds. Lucifron 199. The Protoss 199 as well, as we are looking to see what this next chapter will bring. Lucifron, meanwhile, dropping in a group of Marauders and Marines inside the 3rd base while attacking the 4th. Alright, EMP Shockwave do go down. Colossi in the backfield, they are in a bit of trouble. A lot of Psystorm as well. The Vikings now in a desperate retreat as the Protoss is losing a lot more. No, now Lucifron losing a lot more with a very effective Psystorm. Reinforcements coming in from the Protoss player. The Protoss player, does he have Zealot legs? Yes, he does have Zealot legs on all of these units. Vikings may get taken down. Oh, no, the Vikings do not get taken down, as the drop is still here waiting to be cleaned up. A small group of Marauders and Marines causing problems in the base of the Protoss, as all the units will now be retreating and regrouping once more. All right, let's take a look. Marines are standing to the ready here. Marauders and Marines standing at the ready over here. You can see Ghosts are ready to go. Plenty of sniper rounds if they do, in fact, have to take down some Zealots. their Archons are not biological units, only massive, psionic massive, so they may get shot down here in just a second. Here we go. More Marauders being added. Orbital Command is in position, has been calling down mules, it appears. Templars now in position as well to get off a couple of key Psystorms. If those Psystorms go off, this could be the entire battle here. As here we go, the Zealots may be looking to try and engage. Do we have a drop here? No, we do not. The Ghosts are now making their way over. We could have a lot of EMP shockwaves, which would be a lot of damage dealt. So many Archons here. Are the High Templars going to be able to, feed back those Ghosts in time? I simply believe that there are far too many, as we now see a reinforcing proxy pylon inside the base. Here you go. There you go. Archon now coming in with 3-3 upgrades. No shield upgrades yet, as the Zealots are still doing a bit of a dance in midfield. The Protoss apparently afraid of the Terran at this point, as the Observer does get shot down there. Psystorm now coming in as well. Vikings trying to engage against the Colossi. Colossi, where are they? Where have they gone? They've pretty much now already been destroyed, as the Archons now trying to fight back. Marauders and Marines doing a great job, as Psystorm cuts off a bit more damage again. There's some more damage as well, as there's the Psystorm is dissipating, going after all those Marauders, but the blink over to the side isn't going to be useful. Archons now merging, and with even more units coming into play, this could be looking good for Lucifron. As Positive Duck or Finale doesn't have that many reinforcements coming in. You can see them slowly trickling in. The Zealots are having a bit of a difficult time, and with this many Ghosts on the field, Zealots are simply not going to cut it, as they do deal a lot of damage to those Zealots. Ghosts sitting at 26 damage per attack against, I believe, the Stalker's 23 defense, or 22 defense. And what is going to become of that? Lucifron sitting on a small but significant, measurable supply advantage, 149 versus 120. As we now see, once again, the Protoss trying to hold all the Xel'Naga towers and keep Lucifron from taking any more bases. If Lucifron is able to establish up one more base, I do not believe that the Protoss player, Positive Duck or Finale, will have enough gas in his tank to try and finish off a Terran off of 4 bases. Here we go. There is the fleet beacon now coming in from Positive Duck, and I'm looking at this fleet beacon wondering what exactly is going on. Widowmine has taken down 1 unit and 1 unit only there, so not very worth it at all. And what is this fleet beacon going to be doing? If it is in fact carriers, I would be rather surprised, as we also see Lucifron now going into a lot of Vikings. Triple training Vikings at this moment. 1 starport with the reactor, only training 1 Viking at a time. Finally gets it up to maximum production. Will be training perhaps a couple more Vikings as well, as we take a look, and another Widowmine gets taken down. This is all just rather annoying play, as the factory has just landed and just been constantly walking Widowmines over. Tempest is going to be the unit of choice now from our Protoss friend. Also, a couple of Chrono Boosts now going down onto that Stargate. Though Tempest does have the same build time as the Void Ray, but a much larger range, if not weaker DPS. Just a much longer range, as Lucifron now seen at 199 again. 21 supply discrepancy. A new base being handled over here at the bottom right expansion location, as the SCVs now all taking a beating. Alright, SCVs now coming off the mineral line in order to fight back the poor Zealot, getting sliced to death by those fusion cutters, only dealing 1 damage per attack with such heavy armor. Here we go. Colossi, Archons, Observers now on the move. You can see Zealots now making a move down over here. It looks like Positive Duck wants to clean everything up. And what is going to be happening next? You see the liftoff. Zealots already trying to run their way in, as this one Zealot arrived at the party just a bit early. All right, new planetary fortress, or excuse me, new planetary fortress or orbital command will be upgraded. Lucifron, no real way to land this one particular orbital command unless he is willing to lose the orbital command, which I do not believe he is. Here we go. Stalker now taken down. Lucifron back up to 200 supply. Where is the engagement? You can see Stalkers now trying to make their way in. This is a whole bunch of ghosts. And the ghosts, if they land their EMPs, which I do believe they will, can deal a lot of damage. One ghost has been taken down. There you go. There's a double snipe on one. There's another double snipe. Are we going to get another double snipe? Yes, we will. And so many snipes. So much damage as another EMP shockwave does hit here. All right, here we go. Vikings now looking to perhaps engage. And here's our 200 fight here. Colossi engaging. Vikings are engaging. Medivacs in the backfield or in the forefield trying to take down Colossi who are in the back. Ghosts now finishing off the Marauders and the Marines. All the Ghosts do get taken down. And here we go. The Protoss is now on the run with a 30 supply discrepancy, or about 30, as the Vikings now look to back off again. All right, Marauders and Marines now about to clean up this 12 o'clock expansion location. Positive Duck or Finale pretty much out of options. Cannot really choose to engage here. Simply too many Ghosts with EMP. And those Archons are now all for naught pretty much, as they can't really do much with them. All right, where are those Vikings going to go? Oh, the probe trying to get away. Is it going to work? Multiple probes have been taken down. 56 workers versus 32, as we now see a group of zealots doing a bit of a Congo line over here at the 4 or 5 o'clock location. I believe he is meant to run amok inside here. Medivacs and Vikings now just gathering in the center. Even more Vikings being added. Lucifron perhaps expecting a very, very heavy Colossus count. May be surprised to know that there is 4 Colossus on the field, but we soon could be having a lot more Dark Templar. Zealot easily taken down here. Meanwhile, a distractionary tactic as another group of Zealots walks straight into this mineral line. Lucifron losing a bit of his brilliance from earlier as the SCVs go down one at a time. Marauders and the Marines have finally arrived. Do they have anywhere to go? I do not believe so. But anytime you can force a unit to come and find and chase you, that does mean that it will take it longer to get back to base, and perhaps you'll be able to catch other units out of position. Colossi raring to go. Marauders and Marines about to engage. Zealots, Stalkers, Colossi still putting in a little bit of the pressure. The Vikings now looking very strong. Could in fact one-shot many of those Colossus here. And there you have it. More Psystorm coming in. EMP Shockwave coming in as well. What's happening next? There goes that cannon as we now see an engagement here. Alright, so much Psystorm coming in already. Lucifron now making their way over. What's going to be happening here? Zealots may get taken down. Yes, another Zealot going to get taken down. One more shot. There it is. As another EMP could land across all of those units. There goes another High Templar. And Lucifron just winning the war of the casters here, as the Ghosts do have snipe in order to take down those High Templars rather easily. Alright, big engagement here. Probes, Zealots, Vikings now going into the VTOL mode, quickly cleaning up everything, and that I do believe will be the GG. We are now seeing at 145 versus 36. Not much left to really write home and talk about. Unit compositions, only 5 Zealots, 2 Thors, and that is not going to be enough, as it looks as though Lucifron is going to make it and tie the series at 2 games apiece rather easily by taking down the rest of this Protoss base. There's the GG as Positive Duck or Finale tips his hat off to Lucifron. Lucifron now 2-2 MCons, and now his team is now 2-2 over MVP. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.